There's no doubt that Caligula was strange, grotesque, and perhaps even really clinically insane. His reign does show the dangers of hereditary succession within the system that Augustus had founded. Military monarchy of the Augustan kind did work. There's no doubt about that. But its danger was that if an hereditary system was used, you could never guarantee that the ruler of the day was going to be an effective ruler. And certainly with Caligula, we find one emperor who was an absolute disaster.
The disastrous Caligula brought Rome's elite to its knees, and other Roman subjects to the brink of despair.
In Rome, on the far side of the Tiber, there was a large Jewish neighborhood.
The Jewish scholar, Philo, belonged to one of the empire's many religious minorities. Most of the groups, most of the time, had long enjoyed remarkable freedom. The Jews were just one example.
Most were Romans. They were brought into Italy as prisoners of war and had been freed by their masters. But they were not forced to betray the customs of their forefathers. And when Augustus distributed money and grain, the Jews received as much as everyone else.
But Caligula was not Augustus, and in the year 39, in Philo's city of Alexandria, Egypt, all tolerance broke down. Non-Jews put statues of human gods in the city's synagogues. When affronted Jews tore them out, violence erupted.
The mongrel crowd attacked us and ran through our houses, turning out the inhabitants. Huge mobs of men destroyed the meeting houses, setting many fires in their manic, senseless rage. They drove men, women, and children like cattle into small pens, leaving them to starve and suffocate, and others, while still living, they bound with straps around their ankles and dragged them through the market, leaping on them and defiling their corpses.
It was a gruesome tragedy, and it came at an unfortunate time. For emperors alone could mediate such disasters, and the Emperor Caligula was past caring. Philo and some fellow Jews set out to seek an audience. They traveled all the way from northern Egypt to Rome. But when they entered Caligula's presence, they knew their mission was doomed.
When we were brought before him, we bowed to the ground out of humility and offered our hands, calling him the most holy emperor. Growling and snarling, he responded, "Are you those god-haters?"
The emperor was inspecting a villa under renovation. As he flitted from garden to building, the Jewish envoys strained to keep pace.
We followed close behind, up and down, mocked by our enemies. When he had given some orders about the building, he asked us this solemn question: "Why don't you eat pork?" Our adversaries burst into laughter. We began to speak, but with our arguments so abused and ground to dust, we stopped trying and looked forward to nothing but death.
Philo and his companions were not killed, but neither were they successful. As the men consoled each other back in their lodgings, they were staggered by yet another blow. Word came that Caligula had ordered a statue carved showing himself as a god, and planned to erect it in the Temple of Jerusalem, the holiest place for Jews worldwide. It was the ultimate sacrilege, and sure to cause new eruptions of violence.
Those living in and around the holy city, as if answering a single sign, left their homes and rushed as one to the camp of the Roman governor.
Philo says that the elders swore to die on the spot rather than see their temple defiled. But their sacrifice proved unnecessary, for the Jews were not the only ones Caligula had pushed beyond endurance. Back in Rome, Soon after their petition arrived, the emperor paid for his misdeeds. Caligula was murdered, killed by his closest aides.